Welcome to the Hell Has an Exit podcast. I'm your host, Bryan Alzate. This show is not affiliated with any specific 12-step program. If you or a loved one is struggling with an addiction, please find a local 12-step meeting. If you believe you may need detox or drug treatment of any kind, please call 888-699-9395 to speak to a specialist. The show is sponsored by United Recovery Project, a state-of-the-art drug and alcohol rehab facility. You can visit our website at unitedrecoveryproject.com. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Hell Has an Entrance Part 2. I appreciate all y'all for listening. Just so you guys know, I didn't rehearse anything that was said. I was talking to Maria from Hell Has an Exit. She works with us on the show, and I was telling her, I'm thinking about doing my own story. She was like, oh yeah, you should do it. And I sat down to do it, and I just felt like so awkward just talking into a mic by myself. And then I turned it off and I called her and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can do it. It just feels weird. It doesn't feel right. And she was like, yeah, maybe it's not the right time. And I was like, oh, you don't think I could do it? So then I was like, fuck that, I'm just gonna go do it. And I sat here for 5 hours by myself telling my story. And I just want to appreciate everyone for listening. If you have not heard part 1, I recommend that you go back and start there. Part 3 and 4 will be released every Tuesday at 4 o'clock. We release a new episode. 3 will be next week, and 4 will obviously be after that. If you guys have any questions for me, please go to Hell Has an Exit on Instagram and leave us a direct message. There's something going on with Apple's reviews on their podcast, so if you left a message there or a question on there, I apologize, but I'm not able to see it. Please follow us on Instagram and DM us any questions you have. Now, welcome to Hell Has an Exit, and this is part 2 of my story, Hell Has an Entrance. And I remember he packed the pipe, and he had a straw, and he was like, I'm going to shotgun it to you. And I remember him taking a big hit, and he was like, I'm going to shotgun it to you, and then we're just going to drop to the ground. So he blew the smoke into my lungs, and then we started like falling to the ground, and I fell to the ground, and I was fucking so high. And then he was just laughing. And then I was just staring at his crack pipe. And he was like, I'm going to give you some. And I was just staring. And he was like, look, hang on. And I was just like, I want to hit. Let me get a hit. And he was like, hang on. I'm going to put some more on it. And you can have it, okay? And when he put more on it and he gave it to me and he taught me how to rock it back and forth, and you puff on it and you get that shit melted on the chore. And he taught me how to push it through when it gets all chored up. And I'll never forget what he said. He said, looks like we got ourselves a rock star. And what he really meant was, look like we just turned this kid into a crackhead. And crack and oxys became my whole world. Nothing else mattered. I'd be at school, I'd get a call, I'd hop the fence, I'd go cop. I've really started robbing people. Like anybody, everybody was getting sold fake drugs. They were getting robbed. And I met this other kid, Merch. Bro, Merch is my dog. Carrie Dugan, he was on the show. Carrie and Merch were like my running partners. Like these kids were with me 24. I would wake up every single day and just call either one of them or text one of them like, what's up? What are we doing? Like, who are we robbing? Like, we got to get it. Like, let's go. Like, forging checks, breaking into cars, breaking into houses, robbing people, whatever we got to do. Like, let's go. And like, Merch was like crazy resourceful. There was so many, he's just like a mechanic and shit. He's still a mechanic till this day. And like, bro, he could just like break into anything, open anything. He was just like mad smart. And like Carrie had a job and he was like more sophisticated with it. But like both of them, I was really like running pills with them, like doing pills. And then I would smoke crack like by myself or with like my older friends. And when I mean older, by 14, I'm smoking crack with people in their 40s. People I grew up with start hearing that I'm smoking crack. And like no one thought it was cool. People were like clowning me. I remember my one friend across this, like he lives by me, called me and he was like, yo, dog, I heard you're smoking hard, dog. You're smoking that slab. And I remember just being like, who told you that? And he just started laughing. Everybody knows, bro. Are you fucking serious, dog? Are you smoking crack? Are you smoking crack? And I was just like, I mean, it's not that different than coke. And he's like, bro, don't tell me you're serious, bro. You're not smoking that shit. I can't believe this. He was just dying laughing. That's kind of how people acted at first. They were like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? People like, yo, remember little Alzate who used to like sell us weed? That kid smokes crack now. He hangs out with fucking Jeremy Merchant, who like was like the worst human being on the planet. Like, these two kids are just running around robbing everybody. Like they weren't wrong, And at this time, like, the kid who used to laugh and be the life of the party and funny, like, shit wasn't funny anymore. I wasn't laughing. Like, give me fucking $20. Give me fucking $20 or I'm gonna fuck you up. I need my fucking money now. And I started getting dope sick. And being dope sick is like, it's like being lit on fire with the flu, being forced to drink gasoline. It is the worst fucking feeling on the planet. And I remember being dope sick, 9th grade, tossing and turning on my bed, sweating. I would make a cold bath. I had like a bathroom in my room. I used to make a cold bath and I would sit in the bathtub just thinking of who I can rob, how I can get $40, how I can come up with $20. And then after I would get cold from the bathtub, I would lay on the bed and I'd start getting hot again. I put the fan on full blast, go back to sitting in the bathtub, throw up in the toilet. Then the diarrhea comes, having massive diarrhea, throwing up, aching, vomiting. Every part of your body hurts. Your toes hurt, your eyelids hurt, your teeth hurt, your legs hurt, the back of your thighs are cramping. You can't get comfortable. Nothing fucking feels okay. The fucking pillow fucking feels like a fucking porcupine. Everything just fucking hurts. You just want to fucking blow your brains out. I start thinking about killing myself, who I can rob, what I can sell, looking at my clock. It's fucking 3 a.m. I look at it again. It's 4 a.m. I'm going through my phone, going through every single phone number in there, A to Z, who I can rob, who's going to answer, what can I do? I start pacing around my house. And I start stealing from anyone and anything, Stuff started going missing from the house. I knew all the local pawn shops. I sold my TV and my computer out of my room. I didn't want to be too obvious because I knew if I stole something too obvious, it would like end in me going to rehab. And I remember just being so dope sick. At this time, I already kicked out of school a couple of times. I remember just being on my bed, so sick. And I have a TV in front of me and a computer that I know I can sell for drugs, but I can't sell them for drugs right now because, like, my parents would walk into my room and be like, well, where's your computer? Did you sell it for drugs? So I fucking used the bathroom, and I don't know why, but like the toilet started running a little bit. And then I had this idea. I was like, I could let the whole house flood and then tell my dad that my computer and my TV got like short circuited from the flood. So I purposely flood my side, like the right side of the house. And I unplugged my computer and I put it on my bed. And I wait for my dad to get home. And my dad gets home. I'm like, Dad, the whole house is flooding. He's like, what the fuck did you do, you fucking idiot? I was like, I don't know. He's like, clean this shit up. I was like, I'm trying to. He's like, I can't leave you alone for 2 seconds. What the fuck's the matter with you? I was like, I don't know. He's like, God, you're so fucking stupid. Clean this shit up right now. So I start cleaning it up. I use the vacuum, fucking pour it out. Like the whole house has like watermarks and shit. And then I go to my dad's room and I'm like, Dad. He's like, what? I was like, my fucking computer and my TV are fucking broken. They don't turn on because they got all fucked up with the water. He's like, God, fuck that shit. I'm not buying you more. You're done. If you fucked up your computer and your TV, don't even bother getting new ones. Just fucking throw that shit out. And I remember I put them in trash bags. I called Jeremy. I was like, yo, let's go to the pawn shop. I went to the pawn shop, fucking sold my shit, and fucking went and caught blues and crack. I'm like, that's just how it went. And my mom would just look at me and be like, you need Jesus. And my mom would look at me and be like, who is hurting you? Like, what is going on with you? Like, why do you have so much pain? And I would just say, you're crazy. And I remember one day my mom could tell when I went from snorting coke to smoking it. And one day she was like, Bryan, can I ask you something? I said, what? She's like, ¿Está fumando cocaína? She's asking, like, are you smoking cocaine now? And I said, what? You think I'm smoking cocaine? What the fuck is wrong with you? Who asked their kids that? No wonder I fucking do drugs. Who the fuck would ask? You think I'm smoking cocaine? What's the matter with you? And my mom would constantly search my room, and she would find chore boy and lighters and crack. No, she wouldn't find crack. Thank God she never found a crack pipe, but she would find chore boy and lighters. And I remember she would say, Bryan, ¿qué es eso? What is this? And I'd say, fine, Mom, I'm going to tell you everything, okay? She'd say, what? And I'd tell me. I'd say, I'm smoking weed. And my mom would be like, weed doesn't make your eyes go like this. And she'd like open her eyes all crazy. And my mom knew I was smoking crack. And my sister knew I was doing pills. I was on probation. I got arrested again and again and again. And it's like every week I was crashing a car when I did have a car, or getting arrested, or coming home fucked up. And in 10th grade, my sister moved in from college to like keep an eye on me. My probation officer used to come to the house, and she would drug test me randomly, and I had piss on me 24/7. So in 9th grade, I failed my first drug test, and my parents sent me to military school, and I told myself I'm never going to fail a drug test again. I had pee on me 24/7. I used to pay people for pee. I used to get, like, I always had urine on me. My mom has woken me up in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. Bryan, it's time to take a drug test. I had piss on me, even in my sleep. She'd wake me up. I'd make her feel so bad for humiliating me. You're going to make me pee in the middle of the night? And I'd fucking throw it in her face. God, you're such a bad mom. What the fuck's the matter with you? Who makes their kid do this shit? When this shit's negative, I'm going to fucking laugh. And I would fucking pretend to pee and then pour some of the fucking piss in there, and it'd be negative. And then I'd be like, see, don't you fucking feel like shit now? Look at you, you fucking crazy ass, fucking psycho. You should be a fucking, go work for the FBI the way you fucking try to inspect shit, you fucking dumbass. And maybe I didn't call her a dumbass, but like, there was times where I said like some really fucked up shit to my parents, especially my dad. My parents didn't know what to do. Like when they would drug test me, I'd be negative. So they're like, you know, what is it? And I remember this probation officer came to my house and she drug tested me, and I didn't have urine on me. I was texting Jeremy like, bro, come bring me piss. And he's like, bro, I'm at work. I was like, bro, you have to come to my house and bring me piss. And he's like, I'm at work. And I was like, bro, please. And he's like, I need to go to my house and unthaw it first, because he used to keep it in the freezer. I was like, bro, you got to come to my house right now. And this lady was at my house drug testing me, and my whole family's in the kitchen waiting for me to pee. I keep saying I can't pee, and my mom is like, are you using drugs? And I'm like, no, of course not. I just can't pee. And my whole family is like, maybe this is the day that we find out, like, what's he really using? And my sister is there, like, tapping her feet, like, let's go, Bryan, it's time to pee. Come on. You know, like, you got something you want to tell us? And I'm just looking at her like, God, I fucking hate you, you stupid bitch. Like, what the why you gotta fuck my shit up? And I'm just like waiting and waiting and waiting. Jeremy's not coming. I'm fucking losing it. And I'm like, bro, I'm on the, go to the right of my house and I'm like the guest bathroom right by my room. Leave the piss by the window. And he's not responding. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm waiting in the bathroom. And I fucking look at my phone and he says, mission accomplished. And I fucking go to pee and there's fucking warm, perfect temperature urine on the fucking windowsill, and I open it and I pour it in the cup and I come out. See, I just couldn't pee. And they look at it and it was all negative. And my sister goes, I don't give a fuck what that test says. My brother is on drugs hardcore. He's addicted to Roxy's. Everyone knows. And the lady was like, well, this says that he's clean, and I think he is. And she's like, look at the kid. He's fucking green. He went from pale to green. Now the kid's green. There you go. How much fucking proof do you need? Fucking look at him. And my parents were like, yeah, I mean, doesn't look right. And this lady would be like, well, I think, you know, he's just, you know, needs some help, like his mental depression or whatever. And my dad, like, he didn't have anything to say at this point. He was just like, this is your problem now. And he would just, like, walk away. And my mom would be like, Bryan, are you on drugs or not? I'm like, no, obviously I'm not. I just passed the drug test. Like, you guys think I'm fucking retarded? And during this time, my dad had lost everything in, like, the 2008 depression. But he had, like, lost a lot of money in, like, housing. He, like, took the equity out of his house to buy these houses. He couldn't pay the mortgage when the rates went back up. My dad wasn't working and he didn't have a lot of money. And there was times where I would take his debit card late at night and he would have $40 in his checking account. And I would take the last $40 and I'd go buy drugs. And I remember he would go to work in the morning and he would come back 10 minutes later and he'd be screaming, "Oh, you think it's funny, huh? You think it's funny, huh? You want to take my fucking money while I'm sleeping? I'm here trying to fucking put a roof over your head and you're going to fucking take my last $40? I can't even put gas in my fucking car to go to work because my son's a fucking drug addict and I can't keep anything in the house around anymore because he fucking steals it. How does that fucking make you feel? You don't give a fuck that the whole family is fucking trying to help you all the time? You don't feel bad that your mom fucking cries herself to sleep? You gotta get your shit together, man. I'm fucking done with this shit. You fucking touch my shit again, I'll fucking kill you." And I was already high, so I was just like, whatever. And my dad changed his PIN code. Now I'm strictly relying on robbing people to get money. This is probably 10th grade. And junior year comes. And by junior year, I am fucking really struggling. I got like a $500 a week habit. I don't have a job. Like sometimes I would get like little random jobs for like a week or a month at a time. But like it is getting really bad. People I'm robbing are not really happy. I'm getting a lot of death threats. I've been chased in cars multiple times. I robbed this one kid. I robbed him like $200 at that movie go. I went with my buddy Ryan, and Ryan wouldn't really rob people. He was like he had like some morals at this point. I was like, "Bro, you want to take me to go pick up some money that some kid owes me? I'll break you off." And he's like, "Sure." And I was going to go rob this kid. This kid was like a drug dealer, like sold like QPs and weed and shit. I think he like fucked around with coke a little bit, but he was mainly just like a weed dealer. But he was like a couple years older than me. I had built his trust over a couple weeks. I had got him some pills a couple times. And he was like trying to really sell pills, but he didn't really fuck with pills. He wanted like party stuff. He wanted like liquid Molly or like liquid MDMA or like liquid pills or some shit. People wanted lean, so they thought like liquid oxy was like lean. Whatever. So he wants like a bottle of liquid oxy. I tell him I could get it for him. And I think it was supposed to be like $700-800 or something. And I get like a CD case and I put like this, it's like a glass bottle of water in there, like this little droplet thing that I found like at CVS that I stole. I'm like, all right, I'm going to tell him that it's in here. I'm just going to take the money and run and jump in Ryan's car. So Ryan parks at the Publix and he parks at the Little Caesars. And I'm like, all right, Ryan, stay here. I'll be right back. He's like, okay, cool. Ryan has no idea that I'm about to like strong arm rob this kid. So I get in the car and he's like, what's up? I was like, chilling. And he's like, you got the shit? And I was like, yeah, it's right here. And I show him like this little CD case and it like unzips and inside is supposed to be the stuff. He's like, let me see it. And I was like, let me see the cash. And he has like a wad of cash on him. And he's like, it's right here. Let me see it. And I was like, let me see the cash first. And he looks at me and smiles. He's like, come on, dog, stop fucking around. Open up the CD case. And I was like, bro, it's in here. And he whole demeanor changed. He goes, you trying to peel me, dog? You trying to peel me? And I was like, nah, bro. I'm just like, bro, last time someone gave me fake money, I just got to see the money. He's like, you trying to peel me? You trying to peel me, motherfucker? You trying to peel me? And he starts getting loud, getting in my face. I'm like, bro, chill. I got it right here. And he's like, let me see that shit, dog. Let me see that shit before I stick you right now, dog. I'll stick you right now. And I was like, bro, chill. It's right here. And he's like, bro, let me see that shit. I was like, bro, let me see the money. Let me see the money. Let me see the money. He's like, bro, I got the money. I was like, let me see the money, bro. I've got sold fake money before, bro. Someone gave me fake money a couple times, bro. Come on. People are watching, bro. Chill. Bro, the cops could be out here, bro. Chill. And he starts pulling out the money. He's like, look, this shit's real. And I see him get to like 300. And I like look at the money and I look at the door handle. And I grab the money, I open the door handle, and I fucking run. And I remember just running. And I hop over like this little fence and I hop over this fucking bush and like a car swerves and almost hits me and my knees all scraped up. And I run. I get in the backseat of Ryan's car. I'm like, go. And he's like, where are we going? I'm like, bro, go, drive. He's like, what did you do? I'm like, drive. He's like, Bryan, I'm not leaving until you tell me what happened. I'm like, bro, go, just drive. And this kid doesn't move. And I'm like, oh, bro, go, please go. And the kid has enough time to get behind us, sees where we're parked, jumps out his car and punches Ryan's windshield. And Ryan's like, who is this kid? I'm like, bro, who gives a fuck? Just drive. So he backs out. We start driving. And Ryan's like lecturing me, like, see, this is why I don't hang out with you, Bryan. You're fucked up. You got problems. And I'm like, bro, just drive. So we're driving. And he's like hitting our bumper. We're flying through red lights. And he's like, bro, get out of my car. And I'm like, what do you mean get out of your car? He's like, bro, just get out of my car. I'm like, bro, I'm not getting out of your car. He's like, get the fuck out of my car. I was like, Ryan, chill. I got the money. He's like, no, you stole the money. I was like, bro, who cares? I'll give you like $40. He was like, no. I was like, bro, just drive. We're driving. We're fucking going in and out of lanes, running red lights. This like Impala's, he had like I think like a gray Chevy Impala. He's like chasing us. Ryan has like this Audi. And we start going through like by like Western High School. So I think like, fuck, who can I call? So I call Merch. I didn't want to rob him with Merch because this was Merch's connect. And he told me not to rob him. So I call him. I'm like, bro, I'm driving through your neighborhood. And I just robbed that kid you told me not to rob. He's like, what the fuck, bro? How much you buck him for? And I was like, not that much. He's like, how much did you buck him for? And I was like $200. He's like, oh, word? He's like, bro, break me off and I'll come get you. And I was like, nah, bro, I'm not going to break you off. You didn't do anything. And he's like, come on, bro, break me off. And I'm like, no. He's like, bro, just break me off a little bit. And I was like, no. He's like, where are you? I was like, bro, I'm about to be at your street. I was like, bro, this kid's chasing us. He's laughing. He's like, he's chasing you? I was like, yeah, bro, he's legit chasing us, bro. Come get me. Pick me up. Do something. And he was like, all right, drive around and then wait like 2 minutes and then like go right before the street before my house. But if I pick you up, you have to buy pills off me. So I was like, I have to buy pills off you. Why wouldn't I buy pills off you? You have pills? He was like, yeah. So me and Jeremy had this thing where like he had a script and I had like, I didn't really have much to bring to the table other than like I was willing to rob anybody. Like whenever we came up with a plan, I was the one doing it. He had a script though, and like a lot of times he would like pretend he didn't have pills, but I knew he had his script, and like, you know, that's just like part of being like a junkie. He's like, all right, I'll pick you up. You got to buy pills off me. I was like, well, bro, if you have pills, no shit, I'm going to buy them off you. I didn't know you had them. So he's like, all right, wait at the street right before my house. I'll come get you. So I was like, bro, I can't wait. He's chasing us. He's like, just be there. I'll be there. So we are driving and I don't see him anywhere. He had like a lifted Durango. And I was like, bro, where is he? He's like, and my friend Ryan is like, get out of my car. Get the fuck out of my car. And I was like, bro, chill. Like, hang on. He's like, get the fuck out. I'm like, bro, Jeremy's not here. Hang on. He's like, get the fuck out. So I'm looking for Merch or whatever. And then I'm like, bro, I don't see him. And he's screaming, get out of my car. And I'm like, fuck it. So right before the street, I'm like, slow down. He doesn't really slow down. He slows down like 20, 30 miles an hour. And I jump out the car, roll on the ground. And I start running down the street. And I'm like, fucking Merch fucked me. I have nowhere to go. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do? And I start hearing this wah, wah, wah. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I start running. I see Jeremy on his fucking, you know, Jeremy, we call him Merch, Jeremy Merch. So I see Merch on his fucking ATV, and he has like this souped up ATV that I didn't even know like started. And he comes and gets me. I jump on the back of the ATV, and we just start hauling ass through like these back trails that like no car could ever get to. And I'm just like holding on for dear life, and he's fucking hauling ass. We like, you know, wait a little bit, and we go back to his house, and he drives me home. And he was just like, bro, you're one crazy motherfucker. I'm like, Jeremy's kind of like redneck-ish, you know, and Jeremy was like, bro, you're crazy. And I was just like, yeah. And he's just, I can't believe you robbed that dude. Now I got to deal with that shit. And I was like, I know, bro, I'm sorry. So he busts out his old clipboard, and like he had a clipboard in his car that we would snort pills off of all the time. And he busts out his clipboard and he starts counting out. He's like, how much you want? I was like, bro, I got 200. Like, give me 20. And he busts out the pills. And I was like, hold up. No, bro, I'm not buying these. He's like, what? I was like, no, bro, I'm not buying these, bros. These are the white ETH Roxys. I don't like those Roxys, bro. They're fucking trash. He's like, bro, I told you if I pick you up, you need to fucking buy them off me. I was like, no, bro, that's before you said you had the white ETH ones. I'm not fucking buying the white ETH Roxy's. They're fucking trash. And they make you all itch and shit. He's like, bro, you fucking said if I came and picked you up, you'd buy them. I was like, bro, that's totally different, bro. I don't want them, bro. They're fucking disgusting. I'd rather wait to get blues. He's like, these are blues. I'm like, dog, these are white. These are not blues. Blues are blues. Only blues are blues. That's it. The only blues they are the A215s. No one gets anything else other than those. That's it. These are fucking disgusting. They fucking break up all weird. I'm not fucking buying these. And he starts grilling me, and I'm like, fuck. So I end up buying them off him, and we do some, and that's it. Just another day at the office. Out of all the people I robbed, this was like the one kid that like really set me up. And like months goes by, and bro, this kid, like most of the time when we rob somebody, after a month, they like forget about it. After a couple of weeks, they're like, whatever. Bro, this kid's calling me every day. I'm gonna kill you. I know where you live. Sending me my address. Oh, you want to try me, dog? I heard you and your boy fucking got away on an ATV. That's funny, bro. Just wait till I catch you. And I remember just being like, bro, ain't nobody gonna do shit. And for months, he was hitting me up. You're gonna be dead. I'm killing you. Just wait till I see you. And I remember I called my friend who lived nearby me. And I was like, yo, you know this kid that I robbed? And he was like, yeah, bro, he's kind of a duck. I was like, oh, yeah? He's like, yeah, but I wouldn't fuck with him, bro. A bunch of ducks can do some gangster shit. And I was like, nah, he ain't gonna do anything, bro. I remember this is like middle of junior year. This kid calls me, and I don't like this kid because I had robbed his friend, and he just like, I have no reason not to like him. I just don't. He has every reason not to like me, but I did rob his friend like a bottle of Xanax. I robbed his friend like 100 Xanax or whatever. And he calls me, and he's like, yo, you know where I could get any blues? And like sometimes people wouldn't even say blues or greens or whatever. Back in those days, if you called somebody and was like, yo, you got them, they knew what you were talking about. You got anything? Nobody was talking about anything else other than them things, them green things. Oh, you got them things. Oh, you got them blues. Like that was it, bro. Everybody I knew was on Roxy's or Oxy's, some type of opiate, had a script, was doctor shopping. So when you call people for drugs, like everybody was thinking that you're calling for pills. 1,000 million trillion %. Nobody else was getting anything else. Like maybe people were doing coke. I was probably the only weirdo smoking crack at that time. This kid who I don't like, who doesn't like me, calls me, and he's like, bro, can you get me anything? And I was like, why the fuck would I get you anything? And he was like, I'll buy you one. And I was like, skirt, you buy me one? Okay, come pick me up. So I remember I was like, yeah, like this is where I live. I'll be waiting outside by the gate. Like, let's go. And I was like, how much do you want? He's like, oh, we want like 8. And I was like, okay, cool. So if we buy 8, you'll give me one? He was like, yeah. So I wait outside my gate. There's like a black truck outside. And I was like, that's weird. He don't drive a black truck. But I get in the back anyways. And this kid gets out and lets me in. And I sit in the back. And I don't know a single person in the truck. The kid on the phone's not in the truck. I don't know these people in the truck. I've never seen this truck before. And these kids look like old. Like I was probably 17 at the time. These kids look like 24, 22. I was like, yo, where's so-and-so? And they're all quiet. And they just look at me and they said, don't worry. It's not for him. It's for us. And I was like, okay. And I immediately know that I got. Like I immediately know that I'm getting my ass whooped. Like there is nothing else going on than I'm getting the fucking living fucking shit kicked out of me. 1 million trillion %. That's what's going on. I know I got set up. And a couple weeks prior, my dad had like tried to hug me, and I was like, get away from me. And he's like, why not? Let me just hug you. I'm like, no, what the fuck? Like, stop being weird. And my dad was like hugging me, and he like felt something on my side. He's like, what's this? I'm like, oh, that's a knife. And I used to keep a knife on me. Like Jeremy used to always tell me, like, my boy used to always like, bro, you got to have a knife on you because you never know. Like, shit might just pop off. And you needed to like cut Oxy 80s because they're hard to cut, you know. And my dad grabbed this knife and was like, bro, what are you doing with a knife? And I was like, I don't know, just in case something happens. And my dad was like, just in case? Like, what are you doing, Bryan? And I remember being like, I don't know, bro, you just might need a knife, you know, no big deal. My dad was like, bro, like, is this what it's come to, bro? You like walk around with a knife now? And I remember thinking like, bro, mad people, like my grandpa carried a knife, who gives a fuck? And he took the knife. And I remember being in the backseat of this car, just being like, going to reach for my knife and then feeling that it's not there. And then just being like, oh, fuck. And then I remember thinking like, well, I have my money and my money's in my sock. So as long as they don't take my socks off, I'm good. So I had like probably like $80 in my sock. And we started driving, and I'm like, yo, y'all going the wrong way. Like, we got to go this way. And they were like, oh, we got to get at the money first. And I remember just being like, fuck. We started driving on Griffin Road, and the sun's about to set. It's like 7 o'clock. And we started driving down Griffin. We pass Volunteer. We go over 75. We pass Cypress Bay. And I'm like, fuck, where the fuck are we going? And we just keep driving. And we pull down like this street, and now it's dark out. And we pull into this house, and we all get out the car. And they knock on the door, and I know no one's home. There's like no one living here. And I smoke a cigarette, and I start smoking a cigarette. And I fucking look at the driveway, and there's a Chevy Impala coming up the driveway. And I was like, oh man, this is not good. The kid I had robbed gets out the car with 2 other kids. There's like 5 people here. And he walks up to me, doesn't say a word, takes his hoodie off with his left hand, and then punches the shit out of me with my right hand. And I just instantly fall to the ground, grab my head, and they just all start kicking me and hitting me and kicking me. I don't remember what they were saying, but I remember screaming, I'm only 15, I'm only 15. I think in my mind I was thinking that, like, normally, like, I have robbed, like, gangbangers, and then someone had told them, yo, that kid's only 15, and they'd been like, oh shit, that kid's 15? That's kind of fucked up, bro. It's crazy that kid's out there like that. And they would just like let it slide. So like a lot of times me being young has gotten me out of a lot of situations. And I started screaming, I'm only 15. And they just started kicking the shit out of me. And I wasn't 15, I was 17. But like 2 years had gone by and I was like not aware. And I started screaming, I'm only 15. I like ran away and I had one shoe on covered in blood. My other shoe was covered in blood. My like nose was like to one side. And I start running. I still have my phone on me and I still have my money in my sock. And I remember I bang on this dude's door and I'm leaking in blood. And I bang on the door and he like has his daughter behind him and he answers the door and he looks at me and I was like, bro, I just got mugged. Can I use your hose to rinse off? And he goes, get the fuck off my property. I was like, I did not expect that. I like thought anybody would like let me use the hose on the side of the house. And I thought like he'd have like he was like, get the fuck off my property. And that just like goes to tell you what part of Florida I was in. And I called Jeremy and I was like, yo, they got me. And he was like, what? And I was like, bro, they got me really bad. And he was like, where you at? And I was like, I don't know, bro. I'm like in the middle of fucking nowhere. And he's like, tell me some streets. So I tell him some streets and he's like, I'm coming to get you. And it felt like the cavalry was coming. And I remember he came and picked me up and I crawled in the back seat. And it was him and this other kid, Zach, in the front seat. And they just started laughing. They were laughing so hard. They turned on all the lights in the car and started taking pictures of me. And they were like, damn, they got you good. Oh my God, they fucked you up. And they were just taking pictures of me and busted out laughing. And Zach was like, speaking of which, you owe me $30, you little motherfucker. And I was like, bro, chill, just like take me somewhere. And they were like, damn, bro, they got you. And I called Carrie and they had to go or do something. And so they dropped me off at this gas station. I like rinsed my face off and Carrie came and picked me up. And I remember he was just like looking at me like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, you look terrible. And I was like, let's go cop. And he was like, okay. So I had robbed this drug dealer that we're going to go see. So I would give Carrie the money. He's the only person I trust, him and Jeremy, to like not rob me. And I'd given him the money, and he goes and cops for me and comes back to the gas station. And I start crushing up pills and snorting them. And like blood is coming out of my mouth. I'm like coughing up blood out the window. And I'm like, they're barely going up my nose. And I'm just like snorting and coughing and snorting and coughing. And he's just like, bro, like, what is wrong with you? You need to get your fucking life together. And I'm just like, yeah, I know. And I do the pills. I say peace out to Carrie. And I go home. And my mom looks at me. She's like, Bryan, what happened to you? And I was like, oh, nothing. Me and my friends were boxing. And my mom was like, Bryan, you don't get that from boxing. I was like, yeah, it's all right, Mom. And I just go inside. My dad at that point didn't even care to ask. My dad never asked me about why I had a lump on my head. Like, my dad was so done with me at that point. He was like, well, I tried military school. You've been to therapy. I've gone to court with you. I've pleaded with you. I've taken away everything. I've screamed at you. I've been nice with you. I've given you things. I gave you a car. You wrecked the car. I give you second chances. You spit in my face. I help you with this. I fucking take away, like, anything he does. It just wasn't working. So at one point, he was just like, look, you're going to be 18 soon. And when you turn 18, like, you need to get out. And I'm serious. You need to get out. That's it. End of story. I'm done. Have a nice life. And that's kind of how my relationship was with my dad at that time. And a few months go by, and I'm still robbing people. I'm dope sick more than I'm high, smoking crack whenever I can. And I'm going to a school where kids go that get kicked out of school. It's like a reform school. And you have to wear your pants to your belly button. You have to tuck in your shirt. You have to walk in a single file line. There's a metal detector. They check everything when you come to school. Like, it's like predominantly black, probably one of 5 white kids that are there. And it's called Pine Ridge Learning Center. And this is where I go to school now. You know, I remember one of my worst feelings ever. I asked this kid, Jude, if he could find me blues. And, his name was Jude. He was probably a freshman in school. He had Paper Chaser tatted on his arms. I was like, bro, can you find me blues? And he would always bring anything but blues to school. I'd be like, no, bro, those are the football Xanax. I need Roxy's, A215s, even Roxy 15s. We'll do, like, I'll even take the ETHs at this point. Like Google it, figure it out. But, like, you need to find me Roxy's. They're opiates. He's like, oh, opiums, I got you. I'm like, no, bro, opiates, they're fucking pills for pain. They're pain killers. I need opiates. Fucking every week he be bringing some fucking bobo shit, bro. I'm like, bro, this is Klonopin. No, bro, this is hydrocodone. Like, this is trash, bro. No one fucking does these. Perk 5s, bro. I don't want fucking Perk 5s. Who the fuck does Perk 5s? Get out of here. He texts me late at night one night. And he's like, yo, I can't get them blues, but I can bring you some hard. And I was just like, oh, man, I really don't feel like smoking crack. Okay, all right, I'll buy it. And I didn't know how much he was bringing. He didn't tell me. But I knew he was bringing something. So junior year, probably a couple months into junior year, and the bus picks me up and takes me to this, like, fake school. I don't have any money to buy this supposed crack that this kid's bringing to school. And I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And my mom's getting dressed and she's getting ready for work. And I go in my mom's purse and she doesn't have any money. I don't know, her debit card shit. I'm fucking looking. And I see her phone. There's like a couple missed calls. There's like unread text messages, like this stupid Samsung flip phone. And I turn it off and I put it in my pocket. And I'm getting ready to leave the door. My mom's like, Bryan, where's my phone? And I'm just like, I don't know. She said, Bryan, don't tell me to telephone. I was like, I don't know. She's like calling it and she's walking over the house. She's like, oh, I need my phone. And I was like, I don't know, Mom. And she's like, Bryan, where's my phone? And I was like, Mom, I don't know. And she's like, and my mom's like always losing her phone. But she's like really worried where it is now because it's not even ringing. And I remember I got on the bus. I sold my mom's phone to some kid that sells crack sometimes for like $12 worth of crack. It was like a crumb of crack this kid had. And this kid he opened up his phone and he had crack where your battery's supposed to be. So that's how he snuck it into school. And he gave me, it was probably like $20 worth of crack. And I was like, bro, I don't got no money, but here's the phone. And I was like, bro, I'll give you money later. He's like, no, this is straight. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, this is fine. And I was like, okay, cool. He probably like stole it from his cousin or something. And I remember I have this crack, but I have nothing to smoke it out of. I like wait till home ec, because I have home ec where like you like cook shit. And they have like that silver scrub for pots and pans. And I need a weight to go there to get some of that. And I rip some off and I put it into a mechanical pencil. I asked to use the bathroom. And at this school, when you use the bathroom, a security guard walks you to the bathroom. He walks you to the bathroom and he holds the door of the bathroom open with your foot. So like, imagine a bathroom with like 3 stalls. Well, he holds the door open with his foot to make sure like nothing weird happens in there. And I go in there and I start smoking. And I'm smoking crack out of a fucking mechanical pencil. And I get a couple hits in. And my fucking ears are ringing and my heart's jumping. And I start walking back to class. And fucking 3 security guards start running behind me. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm freaking out. I'm just walking normal. And they run right by me and they go to like chase someone outside who had tried to like jump the fence. And I was like, oh man, I thought they were coming for me. And I remember I sit down in class. We had like computers, like all of our school was online, but there was like a teacher that would sit at their desk, but he really didn't do shit. He just kind of like sat there. And I remember leaning back in my chair and crouching down and taking the mechanical pencil out of my sock and grabbing my lighter and taking a hit under the desk in class. And I remember this kid, Jude, was like, oh, he saw me and he was like, oh, this dude is crazy. He was like, bro, this boy crazy. He really smoking that shit up in class? He's like, boy, this boy is crazy. And he was like, he Bryan the Baser for real. Because they used to call me that. The kids in school used to call me Bryan the Baser. I remember he was like, bro, this Bryan the Baser kid is off the chain. And I remember smoking that shit with no fucks. And burping the smoke into my backpack. I remember when the smoke would come up again, I would burp it into my backpack and zip it up. And I would take a couple hits. That's kind of how it was, you know. I didn't think it was cool. Didn't think it was fun. That's just what it was. A couple months later, this is where I start to get clean. A couple months later, I'm trying to cop. No one's answering their phone. I'm fucking sick. I'm withdrawing. I need a ride to go get drugs, but no one will pick me up or take me to get drugs. Also, drug dealers don't sell me drugs because they either heard that I rob people or I have already robbed them. So there's this one dealer that's just like on point all the time, bro. This guy is like he's a machine, bro. He has it all. I've seen him go from driving oddly enough, he also drove a Chevy Impala. He went from driving a Chevy Impala to driving a Porsche Cayenne. I met him at Doc's house selling crack. He really came up, man. At the time, he would only sell bottles and blues, or he would only sell bottles and like heavy amounts of coke or crack. He wasn't really selling like single pills at all anymore. But he really liked me, and I really liked him. It was like, to me, this is like my dog. I love this guy. He just like, bro, 4 a.m, 2 a.m, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Thanksgiving, Christmas. He is ready to go. He's on point. And he would front me shit. He would hold me down. Like, man, me and Jeremy robbed him. And I felt really bad about it, to be honest with you. I really did. I remember he called me and was like, oh, it's like that? And I was just like, I'm sorry, bro. And he's like, it's like that, Bryan? And I remember just being like, bro, I'm sorry. And he's like, okay. All right, bro, I see you. Fast forward, like a year later, I'm sick and I need someone to go cop. So I call this kid that I don't really like. His name is Sal. He doesn't like me, but I have a connect and I need a ride. And he comes and picks me up. He's got bandages on his hands from when he like slit his wrist the night before. Or like not the night before. He had slit his wrist, got Baker acted, was like telling me the whole story. And like, I did not give a fuck, bro. I was like, bro, no one cares that you try to kill yourself. Like, let's just go buy drugs. So he's got like these bandages on his hands, and he's older. I don't know how much older, but he's got like a full beard. He's probably like 25, 26. I have no idea. I'm 17 still. We go to cop, and I was like, all right, this is where the dude's at. You can go. He'll meet you. He'll meet at the laundromat on 441, but you got to drop me off at the Shell gas station. So I'll give you the money. Give me your phone, and then you go cop, and then come pick me up. And he was like, all right, cool. So we're about to go, and I was like, all right, now give me your phone. And he's like, I'm not giving you my phone. I said, bro, give me your fucking phone. He's like, why would I give you my phone? I was like, bro, you're just going to take my money. He's like, I wouldn't take your money. And I'm like, bro, you're definitely going to take my money. Just give me your phone. He's like, I don't need to give you my phone. I was like, bro, you're giving me some type of collateral. I'm not giving you my phone. Give me your phone. And we're screaming, give me the phone. Bro, I'm coming back for you. You're not coming back for me. And he's like, bro, I'm going to come back for you. Just let me have my phone. I need to call him when I'm there. He's like, I'm like, bro, call him now. Tell him that you're going, and then give me the phone. It'll be 2 seconds. It's right down the street. And he's screaming, and I'm screaming. And I'm on day 4 of being dope sick. Day 1 of being dope sick for someone who's snorting pills is like, 15 hours, 20 hours. You're pretty uncomfortable in your skin. Like, you really feel antsy. You really feel anxiety. Day 2, 30 hours. Oh, you're fucking shaking. You're sweating. You fucking feel real uncomfortable. Day 3, you are vomiting, shitting. Like, I've shit myself on the way to go cop. That's how fucking dope sick I've been. Like, in someone's car. It's humiliating. Day 3 is like, no man should ever go day 3 off opiates unless they're trying to get clean. Day 3 is like the worst, horrendous. Day 4, you're basically dead. You're basically dead, flopping like a fish out of water, holding on for fucking dear life. It is the worst feeling. And I'm on day 4, and I'm just like, fuck. And I'm wearing like a jacket, and it's like not cold out, I'm wearing like a jacket, like some weird ass like striped pants and like a collared shirt and like some boat shoes. I look like such a weirdo. And I like give him the fucking money, and he goes. And this kid goes and cops, and I see him drive right by me. And I'm like, fucking motherfucker. He just took my money. And then I look up, and it's the drug dealer, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, oh my God, now I have to run. So I start running, and I like hop a fence, and I hop another fence, and I hop another fence, and I call my boy. Bro, I grew up with this kid. He's like one of my closest friends in my mind. And I was like, bro, you gotta pick me up. I just got robbed by Sal. I'm gonna kill him. This motherfucker just robbed me. Come pick me up. And he laughs. He's like, bro, I'm not picking you up. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, bro, you're my best friend. Like, one of my best friends. Come pick me up. And he said, bro, you chose drugs over friends. And I remember just being like, dude, there's no way this kid's not picking me up right now. I called Carrie, and Carrie came and picked me up, but I had to wait for him to get off work. And I wanted to kill this guy. I remember thinking, like, he's dead. I'm going to kill him. I'm just going to have to go to his house and murder his whole family. I call him, and he answers, and he's like giggling and laughing. And I'm like, bro, you just fucked over the one person in Broward County that you don't want to fuck over. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I know where you live, bro. I'm gonna fucking gut you like a fish, bro. You're fucking dead. He goes, oh yeah? I go, yeah. He goes, oh yeah? I'm gonna call your parents, and I'm gonna tell them that you've been doing drugs and that you've been forging checks from your dad. And I was like, oh no, please don't call my parents. He's like, yeah, bro, I'm going to call your parents. I was like, no, dude, don't call my parents. I'm calling your parents. I'm like, fuck. And this kid called my dad like a week later and said he was a drug counselor or some shit and that like he's trying to help me. Convinces my dad that I owe him $200. My dad writes him a check. He tells him that I've been forging these checks. I was also forging checks for my parents. And one day I come home from school and my dad says, Bryan, when you come home, don't leave. And I'm like, no, that this is like me going to treatment. Like, we don't really talk at all. But like for him to say don't leave and like how serious he said it, I was like, fuck. So I get home and I go to my dad's office. There's copies of all the checks I've forged for like a year on his desk. And I'm like, fuck, they're going to send me away to rehab. So I instantly leave the house. Like I just start running and I just like run outside the neighborhood and I call Carrie. And I think I have money on me. I have like $60 on me. I had just forged a check the day before. And I was like, bro, come pick me up. It's bad. He's like, what's going on? I was like, bro, it's really bad. I think this is it. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, just come get me. And Carrie picks me up and he has like a 2-door Honda Civic. And we only listen to Lil Wayne. Like that is it. All we do is listen to Wheezy F Baby, The Drought 3, The Carter, like Lil Louisiana. Like that's it. For like 3 years, that was all that we listened to. You dig? And he picks me up and fucking we play I Feel Like Dying probably. And I buy 6 pills, 6 Roxys. And I do all the pills instantly, like all 6 at once. And he's just looking at me like, bro, you really got to stop or something, bro. It's like really bad. And I'm looking out the window and he's like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, bro, this is it. He's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I'm done after this. It's like, you're crazy. I was like, I'm serious, bro. I'm really not doing this shit anymore. And just to let you guys know, like I had tried to get clean hundreds of times. There are so many times where I was like, I swear to God. There's times where I've gone to church and swore that Jesus had helped me and I was like gonna stay clean and like 2 hours later I'm using. There are so many times. I've thrown away drugs before. I've had heart-to-hearts with my dad and said I'm never using again. True story. People think I'm joking when I share this. This really fucking happened. 9th grade, I think like 10th grade maybe 8th grade. I have no idea. My dad catches me doing drugs. I took money from him. I bought Coke and I bought Roxy's. And in the morning, I still had some Roxy's left. My dad finds out that I took money from his ATM, wakes me up in the morning, which I was still awake, but he thought I was just waking up. Sits me down, says, Bryan, I just checked my bank account. Someone took $200 from my bank account. I said, I'm so sorry. And my dad wasn't yelling. He was like trying to like really talk to me. He's like, man, you got to change your life. I was like, I know, it's so hard. He's like, what did you do with this $200? I was like, well, I went to the casino and I gambled. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, I went to the casino and I gambled. And I knew that wasn't like as believable, but I said, I also got some pills. He's like, you're doing pills? I was like, yeah, Dad, I'm so sorry. I'm such an idiot. I'm so stupid. He's like, how much are these pills? I was like, oh, they're like $2. They were $10, but I thought like if they were cheap, it didn't seem that bad. Like the pills were only like $2. He's like, $2? I was like, yeah. He's like, how much do you have? I was like, I did them all. And then he's like, you did them all? I was like, no, you know what, Dad? I actually have some. I want to get rid of them. He's like, let's get rid of them together. And I go to my room and I grab the pills and I say, here. And my dad's like, you're going to be done with this shit forever now. And I was like, yeah, I'm never doing these again. And we flushed them down the toilet together and he put his arm around me. He said, I love you. I said, I love you too, Dad. And we hugged, and we go back to his office, and he starts writing a piece of paper. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, we're going to do a contract. It's like, a contract? It's like, yeah, we're going to make a contract. And on the contract, it says, Bryan will never do drugs again. Bryan will read a book a day, or like some crazy shit, or like Bryan will get straight A's. Bryan will be a good brother. And we dated it, and then we signed it. He made a copy for me, a copy for him, and he goes, hang on. It's going to be a blood oath. And I was like, what? And bro, he pulls out a knife and he like cuts his finger and cuts my finger. And we put our blood next to it. And we both did like a fingerprint of blood next to it. And he's like, you'll have a copy and I'll have a copy. And I was like, oh, this is great. And I go back into his office and my dad goes, how do you feel? I was like, Dad, I feel so good now that I'm done with drugs. And he goes, here's $80 and my car keys. Go live your life. I want you to enjoy yourself. This doing drug shit stuck in your room all day is pathetic. You got to have fun. You got to be a kid. You got to make friends. Go meet a bunch of girls. Have fun with your life. Go to the mall. Do whatever you got to do. I said, yeah, Dad. Bro, I got that $80 and I called Carrie and I was like, bro, let's go. And I didn't come home till like 9 o'clock at night. This is the same day. And I come home at night and my dad goes, where were you? I was like, oh, me and Carrie went golfing. He's like, oh, you went golfing? I said, yeah. And he's like, oh, did you bring your golf shoes? I was like, yeah, I came back to the house and I grabbed the golf shoes and my golf clubs and we were golfing all day. I'm really tired. And I go, oh, okay. My dad goes to the garage. He said, Bryan, come here. I said, what? He's like, come in the garage. I go in the garage. I was like, what? He looks at my golf shoes and he flips them upside down. He says, no grass. You weren't playing golf. And my dad put his head down and he walked away. And I went back to my room. And my dad slid a piece of paper under my door. And it was his copy of the contract. And the copy of the contract had a piece of paper stapled to it. And it said, do you not remember doing this? Your honor, where is it? Grow up. And I just kept using drugs. So, that was my dad's last chance at really even trying to help me. I'm 17 years old. This is February 2008. I'm staring out this window of this car with Carrie. We're on 595 going home. I remember thinking, I never want to be on fucking 595 going to 441 to go meet my drug dealer to get drugs. I don't want to be in this car. I don't want to fucking do this shit ever again. I'm fucking done. I'm fed up with this shit. You think you're fed up with it? I live this shit. It sucks. When people say, oh, why don't you change? Why don't you just whatever? Bro, you think I'm not trying? You think I wake up just wanting to fuck my life up? You think I like going to a school where a fucking security guard walks me to the bathroom? You think I like going to fucking court? You think I go to court and the judge says, oh, I'll see you next year, and I fucking tell him to go fuck off, and in my head I'm like, fuck this motherfucker, and guess what? Next year I'm here. You know how that feels? It fucking is humiliating. You know what it's like to walk into a classroom and everyone snickers and laughs at you. There's tons of rumors going around. You have no fucking friends. No one fucking wishes you happy birthday. Your fucking life sucks. Being a drug addict is it's worse fucking prison. If it's tough to watch, imagine what it's like to live. I'm not trying to fuck my life up. And I was just like, fuck, this is it. I'm done. And I went home. My dad had told me, when you get home, stay home. And when I checked my voicemails, I had 6 different missed calls from him, 6 different missed calls from Mom. My mom, where are you? Dad, ¿dónde estás? And fucking, that's usual. I lived my life with 6 missed calls from Mom. Missed calls from Dad, that was a little unusual. He might call once, but that's about it, And I come home and I'm high. I'm high, but I don't feel the relief anymore. There was a time where I would get high, and when you do opiates, it is like a relief of nothing matters when you're high. It's just everything just fades away. And I got high, and nothing faded away. It was just fucking terrible. I didn't even feel the drugs. And I get home, and my dad opens the door before I can get to it, which means he heard the car pull up, was anticipating that I was going to come home soon, and opened the door. And when he opened the door, he looked at me and he said, you need help, man. And my dad had never said that before. My dad had never said, you need help, man. He's only said, When are you going to grow up? What the fuck's wrong with you? Tell me this is going to be the last time. Why do I waste my time with you? When are you going to fucking prove us wrong? How come all you do is get arrested? You know, I remember this one time my parents were screaming and fighting, and I was in my room, and I overheard my dad say, I don't know what I did to deserve a son like Bryan. It's not like I killed a fucking priest. And like, to be honest with you, I was like, yeah, bro, it must really suck to be related to me. You know, I remember one time my sister told me that she's embarrassed to be related to me. And it was true. Like, I like no argument with that. I'm like, yeah, it's probably awkward, you know? My dad hugged me, and I couldn't really hug him back. I was like, okay, dude, I know it's bad. What are we going to do? The next day, I threw away I had Afrin because like my nose was so fucked up from snorting pills. I needed Afrin. And I threw away my Afrin, whatever paraphernalia crack pipes I had. I even threw away my cigarettes, which was stupid. But I threw away my cigarettes and I was like, I'm done. And the next day we have an intervention at school. I have a guidance counselor there. Her name is Hope Fox. And Hope Fox has been working at this school for a long time. And she would always say, oh, you remind me so much of my son. And she had a picture of her son on her desk. She's like, oh, you remind me of my son. And I remember thinking like, okay, lady, like who cares, you know? And I knew that her son had died from a drug overdose. Like I knew that. Like someone had told me, oh yeah, her son died of an overdose. And she used to say things like, oh, my son would say the same things you're saying. It's so sad watching you do what you do. And like, I remember just being like, you're crazy. So we have this family intervention and my dad's there and my mom's there. And my mom's like all quiet and my dad's real serious. And he's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm just like, oh my God. He's like, Bryan, we found these copies of these checks. And my dad starts pushing out the checks. November 7th, $200. Okay, what did you do with that money? August 6th, $150. What happened there? Okay, March, like he just starts going through every single check. He's like, look how much money this is. What are you doing? Like, what's going on? And he just wanted to know, like, you know, are you affiliated with any gangs? Who's making you do this? Like, he just had like all these crazy questions. And I was just there. I'm starting to get sick and I'm aching. And I threw away my Afrin, which like unclogs your nose. So like there's snot coming down my nose. And I just start shaking in the chair. And I start crying. And everyone is like, what? Because up until then, I had this mask on of like, fuck you guys. I'm totally fine. You're crazy. I'm okay. But this is when the mask came off. And I remember I took the mask off. And I started crying and bawling, crying. And snot was coming down. And if you've ever cried, like really cried, where it's so ugly, but you just don't care. Like you just know you're making the ugliest face since you've been born. Like the face you made when you were born and this one are like pictures, like perfect, right next to each other. They're totally the same. And I'm just crying like a baby, snot dripping down. And I'm just started crying and shaking. And I say out loud, I'm addicted to opiates. And after I say that, I just feel like I just fucked up everything. I just admitted to everybody that I'm addicted to opiates. This changes everything. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. And I'm just like in shock. And my mom goes, what are opiates? And I'm just like, oh, this is like, you guys live on another planet. You know, like this is really crazy. You don't even know what opiates are. And I was like, I need to go to detox. And my mom is like, detox? What do you mean? And I remember just crying. And I was like, I need methadone. And prior to that point, I'd only done Subutex and methadone. And I just thought that like when you detox, you take methadone. Like that's all I knew about it. Like I've done it a couple times and like whatever. And I was like, I just need methadone right now. And my mom was like, ¿Qué es eso? What are you talking about? And my dad was like, oh, I know what this is, you know? This is very strong drugs he's talking about. And the guidance counselor was like, you know, she got down to my level and she put her hand on my knee and she got right in front of my face, and she's like, Bryan, are you withdrawing? And I was like, in my head, I was like, how dumb are you? Like, you went to school for this? Like, what the? Of course I'm withdrawing. I'm gonna fucking die if I don't get opiates in my system. Like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, I'm withdrawing. Really bad. So my mom was like, oh, I don't understand. So he needs to go to a hospital? And she was like, yes, Miss Alzate, he needs to go somewhere. He needs to be in a medical detox. And they called some places. They got me into Fort Lauderdale Hospital. They had an adolescent floor. Before I could go in, they said like I couldn't come right away. I needed to like wait a couple hours for like the intake person to come there or something. So my dad's like, okay, let's all go to this restaurant. And I was like, I don't want to go to a restaurant. And my dad was like, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. So we go to this fucking like Spanish restaurant. I don't know what the fuck it is. We go to some Spanish restaurant. There's like, I swear, there's like piñatas hanging from the ceiling. My mom asked me if I want a quesadilla. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, quesadilla? I can't eat food. Like, I'm fucking dying here. The fuck? And I was just so mad. And I was like, no, Mom, I don't want a quesadilla. But can I buy some cigarettes next door? And my mom is like, you want cigarettes? And I was like, yeah, please, Mom, I need cigarettes. She's like, you don't have any? I was like, no, I'm so dumb. I threw them away yesterday. She's like, Bryan, you know I can't buy you cigarettes. I'm like, Mom, please buy me cigarettes. I was like, I don't care if Dad hears. Like, I need cigarettes. This is crazy. My mom gave me like $10 to go next door to buy cigarettes. And next door there was like this little quickie mart, and I had a fake ID. I bought a pack of Newports and I smoked a cigarette outside while they ordered food. And my dad was like, you sure you're not hungry? I'm like, oh my God, I'm not hungry. I'm gonna fucking kill someone if someone asks me one more time if I'm hungry. I'm not hungry. I smoke another cigarette outside, and I'm just like thinking about running. But where would I run to? There's nowhere to go. There's no one to get me. Even if I had money, people don't even sell me drugs anymore. We go to Fort Lauderdale detox. And I really want to smoke another cigarette. And my dad's like, come inside. And I'm like, all right. So I go inside and I sign this paperwork. And I go to leave to go smoke a cigarette. And this lady's like, you can't leave unless you sign. You got to do your paperwork first. So I do my paperwork first. I go to leave and she looks at the paperwork. She goes, oh, you're an adolescent? Oh, you can't smoke cigarettes here. I'll take those. And I was like, what? I'm not taking my cigarettes. She's like, no, you can't smoke cigarettes in here. We'll give you nicotine gum. I'm like, no, I'm smoking my last cigarette. Like, let me smoke one cigarette before I go in here. She's like, you've already signed in. You cannot go out that door. And I was just like, this is not the way it was supposed to be. I was not supposed to get clean this way. So I was like, Dad, how did you find out about the checks? He's like, oh, praise God. You know, your only friend, he called and he saved the day with this. You know, he really helped out the family. I was like, who called you? Was it Jimmy? He's like, no, your one friend. You know the friend. I was like, what friend? I don't have friends. Like, what friend called you? He's like, oh, it doesn't matter. And I was like, thinking like, bro, who the fuck called you? And then I was sitting there and I was like, Dad, who called you? He's like, oh, it doesn't matter. I was like, Dad, who called you? He's like, your friend. I was like, Dad, who called you? He said, it was Sal. Your friend Sal is a really nice guy. I was like, Sal called you? No. Oh my God, he's a crackhead. He's like, oh, he's not a crackhead. I was like, Dad, Sal's a crackhead. What are you talking about? Sal's a crackhead. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm in detox right now. And it's fucking Sal. It's because of Sal. I can't believe this. Fucking in here because this fucker called my parents. He really called them. Oh my God. I'm not doing this. I can't do this. I can't do this. And the door opens again and someone's coming in and I'm like, I can run right now. But again, it's like, where would I go? I have nowhere to go. And I stayed. And I remember doing the intake. They were like asking me like, oh, when's the first time you did this drug? When's the first time you did that drug? And it was like, you know, marijuana, 5th grade, coke, 6th, 7th grade, crack, 9th grade, Oxycontin, 9th grade. And the lady is looking at me like I was raised by wolves. She was like, Jesus, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? And my parents were sitting there the whole time. Like, my mom's like crying in her hands. My dad is there like with his nose turned up, like, oh, I can't believe we're in this disgusting place. There's literally homeless people checking in, people walking around in fucking blue gowns and fucking IVs and fucking people screaming and yelling. And my dad is like, I can't believe we're fucking here. I feel really low. Like, I wonder what other kids are doing right now. And I can't even think. I can't even think what like a normal teenager does. And I check into this detox. And when I check into this detox, I notice that there is like 2 doors to go up the elevator. And then there's like another self-locking door to go down the hall. And there's no doors in the rooms, so you can't lock the door in the room. The beds are like jail beds, like cots. There's no mirror. There's like this fake like mirror. It's like this metal thing that's like a mirror. And there's one shower in each dorm. And then there's a window. And the window has like the metal in the window where like you can't break it or like get out. And that actually was comforting. I actually had a sign of relief when I noticed that it was not going to be easy to get out of here. And I pulled out a pen and paper and I started to write. And I just wrote whatever came to my mind. I met some other kids that were in there, some crazy kids, you know. But I was the only one that was there addicted to opiates and like for hardcore withdrawing. Man, it was really fucked up, you know. I wanted to die. And when I remember getting my meds and I was like, I need methadone. They're like, honey, this is what you're getting. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? They were like, this is Suboxone. I was like, Suboxone? What the fuck is Suboxone? I had only done Subutex and methadone. And they gave me like these little 2 white octagon wafers with like a sword on front of it. And I was like, this shit ain't gonna do nothing. I need methadone. Because I'm used to like the methadone wafers, like the big methadone wafers. They gave me these 2 little tiny orange pills. I'm like, this ain't gonna do anything. So I took the pills and you like let them dissolve under your tongue. I felt fine in detox. I was like, damn, maybe this shit was all in my head. That's so crazy. I was like tripping this whole time. I don't even feel that bad. Maybe I wasn't really even addicted. And I'm eating food, and food tastes like something I've never had before in my life. I remember going to like the fucking cafeteria and they would have this chicken parmesan. And bro, that chicken parmesan fucking slapped. It was fucking phenomenal. I put some hot sauce on it. I got a chocolate milk with some chocolate mousse cake. Oh, I was like, God damn, that is the best fucking meal I've ever had in my life. When I was leaving, I was like, ma'am, can I get another chocolate mousse? She's like, you know, I shouldn't really let you get an extra one, but go ahead. I was like, fuck yeah, I got an extra mousse cake. Fuck yeah. And then we'd have group, and we'd have like group with some therapist. And then we would watch TV through like this 4-inch glass, plexiglass. And like the only thing that we would watch is Maury and Cops. And we would just sit there and, you know, I was wearing a medical gown the whole time. On day 5, they were like, you know, your parents are here to see you. I remember telling them, like, bro, I don't want to see my parents. I remember this guy was like a big security guard. He was like, boy, go see your parents. I was like, bro, I don't want to see my parents. I'm not seeing them. And this guy screamed, go see your family. You know how lucky you are your family even wants to visit your dusty ass? I was like, bro, go see him. And I went there. My dad was upset. He was really upset. And I was still not feeling great. And I really didn't want to make eye contact. And my dad was like, so are you done? Is this it? Are we done with this shit? I remember just looking at him like, done with this shit? Like, that's what you think it is? Like, this is just like some shit that I've been doing? Like, no problem. Like, I could stop at any time. And my mom is like, oh, how are you? Are you eating enough? Do you need clothes? What's going on? And I'm just like, I don't know, Dad. My dad's like, we need to know that this is the last time we're going to deal with this shit. And I didn't really feel like, I felt like if they were like, yo, here's $20, you want to go cop? I was like, hell yeah. I was still copping. I was still getting drugs. Like, I didn't feel good enough where I was like not using it. I was thinking like, I need to use after this. This sucks. And he's like, we need to know that you're done. And I remember being like, Dad, I don't know if I'm ever going to be done. And he was like, what? How could you say that after all this? You're not done yet? And I was like, I don't know, Dad. And he was like, how could you say after all this shit that we've been through, we come here to see you and you tell us you're going to keep doing this shit? I was like, I'm not saying I'm going to keep doing it. I don't know what's going to happen. He's like, what do you mean you don't know you're going to happen? Are you a fucking zombie? You don't fucking know how to control yourself? What's the matter with you? And I was just like, I don't know. And like I could have said, yeah, I could have been like, yeah, this is it. But like, I really just didn't even feel like lying. Like lying was like too much of an effort at that point. And my mom is like, they're suggesting you go to treatment. And I was like, treatment? Why the fuck would I go to treatment? My mom is like, it'll be good for you. They're saying that there's a 30-day program that you can go to. I'm not going to a 30-day program. I'm not going to waste 30 days of my life as if I had anything else to do. Like, as if, like, I even could take care of a cat at that time. Like, I didn't own a calendar. I couldn't tell you what month it was. I had no business on even saying no to that. And I was like, no way. There's no way I'm doing treatment. And my mom is like, please, you should think about it. I was like, I'm not going to treatment. My mom had brought me some stuff that I asked for. She brought me some clothes and she brought me this book. And one of the books that my friend Jimmy had been trying to get me to read was Scar Tissue by Anthony Kiedis. And I had read other books about drugs. I'd read like A Million Little Pieces and stuff like that. I always read books, even like on hardcore drug use days. Like I was still reading a book, Chuck Palahniuk and like Catcher in the Rye and Where the Red Fern Grows. I've read all the Mario Puzo books, Lorenzo Cacatera, Gangsters, Sleepers. I've really devoured books. I loved reading. And my friend Jimmy had been telling me about this book by Anthony Kiedis. Like, you should really read it. And I never really thought why, but after I read it, I figured out why. And this book really opened the door to like the possibility of what could happen for me. And when I read this book, I couldn't put it down. I mean, every page, I was just soaking it in. And this guy talks about being a drug addict, heroin addict, talks about staying clean for 5 years, talks about going to treatment, talks about shooting up heroin with gang members under like Los Angeles, like Overtown area, and all these crazy stories, and then becoming a successful millionaire, and then selling his guitar for drugs and losing everything again. And then he talks about getting clean. He talks about going to treatment multiple times. And at the end of the book, he says the only reason why he's clean today is because he went to an AA meeting and he got a commitment to pick up the chairs after the meeting. And he said, when I would feel like using, I would think, oh, I can't use, I got to go put away the chairs. And as dumb as it sounds, it kept him clean. And he talked about doing service and meetings and conventions. And he says, everyone I know who's clean still does something for their recovery on a daily basis. He says he has one friend who goes to jails. He has one friend that speaks at this, or some friends that do service and recovery or whatever. And he talked about having lots of clean time. I was like, meetings? What are meetings? Never heard of meetings before. And on day 7, my taper had ran out. And I actually had one less taper to go. One more, like, prescription of pills to take. On the last day, I told the lady, she was like, honey, you got one more taper left. And I was like, I don't need that. She's like, you're going to refuse your last one? I was like, yeah, I don't need it. I feel fine. She's like, you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm sure. And I was flirting with her. I was like, yeah, I'm sure, baby. And 2 hours later, I was banging on the window. Bitch, give me my fucking taper. I need that shit. She's like, you already refused it. I was like, I need it so bad. Please give it to me. She's like, we can't give it to you. You already refused it. I was like, no, please give me that shit. I was banging on the window. And that same security guard was like, boy, you are going to shut up or I will make you shut up. And I was like, they need to give me my last taper. He's like, you ain't going to act like that in here. I shut up. I started to really detox. And I was like, I'm supposed to discharge today. I'm going to fucking blow my brains out. Like, I can't do this. they let me call my mom. And I was like, Mom, I need to go to a drug rehab. She's like, okay. I was like, I need to go. She's like, I thought you didn't need to go. I was like, no, I need to go. She's like, but you said you didn't need. I was like, Mom, I lied. I'm a fucking liar. I'm a drug addict. Don't believe anything I say. I need to go. If they say I need to go, I need to go. Why would you fucking go what I think? What's wrong with you people, bro? I need to go to treatment. If I don't go to treatment, I'm going to get high. My mom was like, ay, Dios mío, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, Mom, you can't. I don't know what's going on. All right. I'm the last one that needs to agree with the situation. I don't know what's good for me. I need to go to rehab. My mom was like, oh, okay, mijo, let me see. And my mom got on the phone. She called the insurance company. And the insurance company was looking for a place to refer me to. And then they were like, oh, well, we didn't notice that your son is not 18 yet. And we don't have coverage for him because he's an adolescent. And there is no in-network places that will take him as an adolescent. He needs to be 18. And my mom called me and was like, oh, the insurance wouldn't take you because you're not 18 yet. And I was like, what? How does that make sense? Who? And I was just thinking, well, I guess that's that. I tried to do the right thing, and now I just got to smoke crack for the rest of my life. And my mom and dad picked me up from treatment, and it was raining. And I remember always thinking, why is it always raining on, the worst days of my life? And I'm in the back seat, and my dad is so mad. He's just so mad. And I really hate him. I really hate him. He's just always just making it seem like it's so easy to just change my life and yelling at me and screaming and cursing. And he's like, you're going to get a job. You're going to start going to school. You need to take your SATs and you need to get into college. And I'm thinking college? I'm going to kill myself. I'm not going to college. I don't even know if I can make it on this planet. What's up, guys, and thanks for tuning in to Hell Has an Entrance Part 2. Part 3 will be dropping this Tuesday at 4 p.m. Remember, if you want to leave me a question to answer on the following podcast, please do so on Instagram at Hell Has an Exit. Tell a friend to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show out. And thanks again, guys. I appreciate y'all. This show is not affiliated with any specific 12-step program. If you or a loved one is struggling with an addiction, please find a local 12-step meeting. If you believe you may need detox or drug treatment of any kind, please call 888-699-9395 to speak to a specialist. The show is sponsored by United Recovery Project, a state-of-the-art drug and alcohol rehab facility. You can visit our website at unitedrecoveryproject.com.